Welcome back to Build a Mobile App in 2 Hours. In this session, we're going to update the theme or the look and feel of our app. So to update the PlanetHopper theme and make it a little more spacey, we're going to make adjustments to the base phone theme that we started with, which only had a primary color. We're going to update a number of key elements, including the logo. We'll add our new spaceship. We'll update the background to a more star-oriented and spacey background. And then we'll change some CSS elements to adjust the background, the position, and some of the text colors to make sure that things look nice. And also inside of Service Studio, we'll change some of the example text so we have a better idea of what it's actually going to look like when it begins running in the phone. So let's go ahead and get started. To update the look and feel of our app, we'll be working with the theme. And to find the theme for our module, if we click on the module's name, we can see in the properties, in the defaults area, the first thing is the default theme. And here we can see that there is a PlanetHopper default theme. So the themes are actually stored in the User Interface tab. And if we minimize the onboarding flow, we can actually see that the theme folder is below the images. And here in the theme folder is our PlanetHopper theme. The PlanetHopper theme is based on the phone theme, and it has its own style sheet. If I double click the style sheet property, it opens the style sheet editor. And again, we can see that PlanetHopper is based on the phone theme, and the phone theme has a base theme called the base theme. If we click on the base theme, we can see that it's grayed out so that we can't edit it. It gives us a set of base styles to start with, and then the phone theme can extend and override those styles, but it's grayed out as well, so we can't edit the phone theme. And that's why we have our modules theme, because this allows us to do phone theme customizations. We can make customizations to the page layout, the buttons, the widgets, and other things, including adding our own custom CSS near the very bottom of the file. So we're going to need some custom CSS to make the pin code screen look a little better. So for now, let's close the style sheet editor, and let's think about the user experience, which starts with the splash screen. So let's update the look and feel of the splash screen. It's in the common flow, and if I open the splash screen, here we can see there's a logo. And that logo is the image from the images that's called logo, and it's really the OutSystems logo. So if we'd like to update that, we can come into logo and right-click, and we can decide to change the image, and we can see that we have a spaceship logo, so we'll double-click and it will automatically update the logo. We could have deleted the image and added a new image, but because the logo already existed, it was easier to replace it. Now below the logo is the application title, and it's an expression, or in our case a variable, and it's getting the name from the entry eSpace name. And eSpace is another name for our module, so it's actually bringing back PlanetHopper. And that's fine, but while we're working here in the development environment, we see application title because of the example. So it would be better if we entered PlanetHopper there to be able to see what it will really look like. Now once we got through the splash screen, we went through the onboarding, and then it took us to the login screen. If I open the login screen, what I'm going to find is that the logo is automatically updated. And again, the application title expression is here, so we should probably change the example. And now it looks a little bit more like what we expect. So we've updated the splash and the login, and from there it took us to the pin code screen. So if I scroll up a little and we minimize the common flow and open the pin code flow, what we were actually using is the unlock pin screen. So in the unlock pin screen, we have this bright white background with just the default colors. So it'd be nice to change the background and make this a little nicer to look at. To be able to do that, we're going to edit the theme customization, and we're going to go by opening the CSS Style Sheet editor up here to the left. And here you can see that not only do we get the PlanetHopper module with the phone and base theme, but we also get a style sheet for the screen itself. So the unlock pin screen can have its own styles. We're going to steal the pin code wrapper that it's using here, and I'll copy that, and we'll go over to the PlanetHopper, and we want to do the custom CSS. So we'll scroll all the way to the bottom, and right above the bottom comment, let's paste the pin code wrapper. And we not only want this to apply to the pin code, but we'd like it to apply to the splash screen, and we'd like it to apply to the login screen. And what we'd like to add here isn't so much a height change, but we'd like to add a new background image. So to do that, if we look at the background image that's currently here, it's the cityscape that we saw when we looked at the dashboard screen. So let's update the background image to start, and if we change the image, we can see that we've created a nice starry background, and we can select that, and we see it's been updated in the lower right. Now, we wish to add the background here. So as I begin typing background, I can actually select in the type ahead the background image. And to be able to describe the background image, I need to select a URL to tell it which image to get. And if I look at the background image's properties, there's a runtime path which has the base part of the URL that we need to use. So I'm going to copy that, and I'm going to paste it inside of the CSS editor, and we can see it goes to our module, goes and finds images, and then gets the PlanetHopper background image. Now I'm going to close the parentheses and make this a valid tag, and when I do that, the CSS editor should automatically apply the changes to the screen that we're looking at. And there we can see the background's been added. So that looks pretty nice, but the pin code wrapper has cut off the stars at the bottom of the screen. And we can't see the gray numbers anymore. So let's make two quick updates to try to fix that. Let's change the background, and if we change the background size, we can say that it should be cover, so that it uses the image to cover the whole area and doesn't cut any of the image off. And then we'd also like to make sure that the background doesn't repeat. So if we do background repeat and we say no, we can get the no repeat, and that will look good as well. All right, so that helps us with the background image and looks pretty good now. But we'd like to be able to make the text look better. So if we type in the pin code wrapper again, and we also try to add a style for the pin code itself, the pin display, pin code display, then what we'd like to do is make sure that the color for what we're using, and we don't need it to be gray anymore, let's select white. And if we close this, and then we actually close the style, we can see that it applied the white to the text and to the numbers so that everything looks a little bit better. So let's click OK. And at this point, we've been able to change our logo, change some of the example text. We've added a background and some custom styles. So let's see how this is going to look inside the emulator. So I'll click the one-click Publish button, and it'll go through the publishing process. So we've seen that the different screens can be updated and they can share different resources. One of the sets of screens we didn't update was the onboarding screen. So we could actually add this background to the onboarding as well. Now we won't see those screens again, but it might be better to have them for the overall customer experience to be consistent. let's click Open in Browser. And we can see our new splash screen looks nice. It has updated the app. The pin screen has all of our new colors and looks good. Let's enter our pin. And we can even see that on the dashboard screen, because we updated the background image, it's changed the cityscape to our starscape, and it looks a lot nicer. Now you could have also been previewing this in the phone by scanning the QR code, or if you had your phone open the whole time and you just opened OutSystems Now again, it should have loaded directly back to our app and shown you that it was updated and gave you the changes. So we've been able to upgrade our look and feel. Join me in the next section where we'll begin creating the data and the screen to begin defining what a trip is, so that we can let people name their trip and choose the dates for their trip. So join me in the next section where we'll begin creating our first custom screen.